This is a view of the 07 right threshold at Hong Kong. That's a Chinese Blackbird. And the big thing is an A330 200 freighter belonging to EAT in Leipzig in Germany. It's wearing today a DHL livery and in front of a whole load of punters who are going elsewhere once this 330 is airborne. It's starting off down the runway. So with the power set, probably Manflex SRS runway being shown on the annunciators at the top of the pilot's displays. It's accelerating off down the centre line. There's a very gentle wind from the left, so no difficulty keeping it straight. And pilot flying's using the rudders to keep it on the centre line. There was a puff of smoke at 34 seconds, which was interesting. And now we're going towards the committal speed of V1. That's the point at which they cannot stop the takeoff if something were to happen. The next speed is called VR, and pilot non-flying will call rotate, which they've done now, and me, that's what happens. An engine compressor stall. It's a disturbance in the airflow from front to back in the engine, but pilot flying has done exactly what they've been trained and tested to do in the simulator, namely coolly aviate. So with probably no more than 5 degrees of bank there, they've kept the airplane completely on the rails. 200 feet, the autopilot has gone in after they've brought up the undercarriage, and now they're navigating to go off and carry out their emergency checklists, replan, and initiate a return to Hong Kong, which they're doing back on the 07 right, interestingly enough, rather than 7 left. But it's all looking good. Reduced flap, landing on one engine, and look at that for a touchdown. Oh my bloody God. What an absolutely stellar performance that is. That is as smooth as the finest pint of Irish stout after such a start to the sector as well. Note please the lack of some of the ground spoilers. That is because the hydraulic systems are degraded, so you only get part spoilers. Now they've come to a stop on the runway and they'll be asking air traffic control, are there any signs of fire or smoke? Meantime, I would have expected the cavalry to have been all over this aeroplane like a cheap suit and ready to put out a fire should there have been one, because you do not know what secondary effects could have taken place, and they should have been out there wasting now valuable seconds because that airplane was burning. That would be significant. Luckily for them and all concerned, it isn't. That runway is now embargoed, so 7 right is not available for use, and all arrivals and departures need to go on to the other runway. That will cause some delays. Also, don't forget about the aircraft that were queuing up for departure. They're going to have to be shifted to another runway. That will cause their pilots to replan, reprogram, recalculate all their takeoff stuff before they can get airborne. With the parking brake set, air traffic control will allow the pilots to now talk on their secondary number 2 radio box on 121.6 to the fire chief, who is in one of these fire tenders. Their job is to inspect the aircraft completely from the outside and give that report to the captain. And between the captain and the first officer, they decide the next course of action. And in this case, because nothing looks untoward, it's a case of no real further action needs to be taken other than closing up the aeroplane in terms of its engines and hydraulics with the APU running and get it off the runway. Now, the lucky thing here is that they happen to have stopped outside one of the world's leading maintenance places for aeroplanes, HAECO, Hong Kong Aircraft Engineering Company. They're right outside the door. How many times have you broken down your motor car and been right outside a garage? Probably none. So they'll need to get a tug, and they don't exactly go at the speed of a Ferrari, so that'll take a while for them to come out and eventually tow the jet into HAECO. Meantime, these Herberts here are making a bit of a Spielberg movie. They're doing a visual inspection backed up by video so they can use it for the subsequent investigation and report. There's a big knock-on effect to an incident like this. Here's the start of the reshuffle. A Cathay 777 is doing a UE on the parallel taxiway to HAECO, and they are now on their way to 7 left. Meantime, a tug has turned up. They're pulling the aeroplane in. The ground spoilers are not wanting to come in too fast. They're getting a slow tow and probably making a phone call or two to Leipzig to say, hey listen, you need to organise another chariot to put all these boxes on. So if you were ordering a plastic comb or a brand new television set and it was late, you might find it was stuck in the back of that jet. Do not be concerned when you're a passenger in one of these aeroplanes, because you can see that it flies perfectly well on one engine. All the best for now. See you the next time.